Hello, and welcome to week 4 of the UNPL Academy. I'm Zan, the coach of the San Diego Padres, and we are currently sitting at 2-1 with a +7 differential. So we're doing pretty decent. Could be better. Could have not lost week 2, but not too bad. Our opponent this week is Orizan or Orizan. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, so feel free to correct me. I will link his channel in the description. He makes some good videos. And he's currently sitting at 1-2, but the games he lost definitely could have went his way if just a couple things had changed in the battle. So he's a really good battler. But honestly, this has kind of worried me, this matchup, because this is Sun versus Sun. This is the person that stole Torkoal from me in the initial draft plan. I was hoping to have Torkoal alongside of some slower Pokemon and some Trick Room, and he ended up swiping Torkoal before I could get it. So we have to deal with battling Torkoal now. And not only does he have Torkoal, but he has some of the best Sun abusers around. Like, honestly, probably a better made team than mine. Since we have Ninetales, we're not as committed to the Sun. His team can function outside of it, of course, but definitely operates better within it. So we're going to try to mitigate that. Our battle is in about 10 minutes, so I'm going to get through this super fast. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with the details on his team, but I will bring it up on the screen. And if we look at it, his first overall pick was Great Tusk, obviously one of the greats of OU, super strong, only ground and fighting type in the game. One of his only 2 hazard removals, which is something I'm hoping to capitalize on with Rapid Spin. All his defoggers don't actually have defog. So, yeah, hopefully we can take advantage, but obviously it's very threatening into my team, but we do have a few things faster that can one-shot it. So I feel like he might be inclined to run the Speed Booster Bulk Up set, but we'll see. He's got the Roaring Moon, and honestly, this thing is disgusting against me. I don't have a whole lot that can deal with it, and it's kind of an issue. So I figure instead of trying to build defensive checks for it or build things that are just offensively better, because its speed tier is really good into me, I figure let's just bring webs. So let's take advantage of him only having spinners and us having a ghost type, and let's just prevent him from ever getting Roaring Moon going. The only way this fails is if he leads Roaring Moon, but he doesn't know that, so don't tell him. He's got Torkoal, of course, his other spinner, fire type spammer. I think every week he's brought it, it's been Heat Rock to help his Venusaur, or at least the 2 weeks that I watched. He brought it with Heat Rock, I believe. Obviously could run things like Boots, could even run Specs, or be, more offensive, and he could run Trick Room. His next Pokemon's Slowking, so the setter of said Trick Room definitely operates pretty decently in Sun. Obviously, it weakens its water-type moves, but it's still effective because it has great coverage. It's a good special sponge that he doesn't really have otherwise. And also, it can set the snow, or the snow, and reset his Sun turns effectively. Or set Snow for one of his low tiers, which is Titan. So I don't really anticipate Snow coming versus me because obviously we could just reset the Sun, but maybe he decides it's better than him trying to out-Sun the Sun team, His first Terra Captain is Venusaur. Amazing Terra Captain, truly. Very strong Pokemon. The coverage of Poison, Ground, Fire, and Grass alone is so strong that, once again, we're not really trying to defensively check Venusaur. We can if we need to, but we are just trying to slow it down enough to knock it out with any of our team. So that's kind of the hope. His Terra types are Grass, Fire, and Dragon. He's already brought Fire and Dragon to 2 different matchups, so that's kind of scary that he's using Venusaur every way it's made to be used. When he brings Terra Dragon, he brings Weather Ball to still have the Fire top coverage. And then Terrifier, obviously, he can bring things like Earth Power, Sludge Bomb. And I know he really likes Growth, so we can't let Venusaur get a free chance to set up if we can help it. He's got Klefki, super annoying and great on a multi-weather team because it can set weather itself. I don't know that it gets Snowscape, but I'm almost sure it gets both Sun and Rain, so that's useful for him. He could run either the Spikes Thunder Wave annoying set, or he could run the Screens set with some coverage, or just max utility. Can run Foul Play to deal with physical attackers. I'm not super concerned if he does bring the Klefki because we have answers for it, and we have things that kind of just wall it out. But obviously things getting paralyzed puts luck against us, and we could just get hacked out, and it definitely happens more often than not on Team Padres. He's got Electrode. He did bring it one week. I don't know if it was a Terra captain, because I think he might have also brought Venusaur. Electrode is his lowest point mon, just kind of there to be a Terra captain with Electric, Ice, and Fairy. We know people like bringing low-tier electric fairies versus me, or specifically fairies, so I wouldn't be surprised if this Electrode showed up over Venusaur, honestly. If it does, that's fine. We can handle it. Kilowattrel kind of always checks it. If it's Terra Ice, we Terra Ice, and we still check it really well. So we'll see. He's got Zapdos, just super strong electric flying type. Volt Switch is Heat Waves. He likes Air Cutter, U-Turn, and it also gets Roost, but no more Defog, so we're going to take advantage. Miss Magius is a pretty fast ghost with Levitate, so 3 immunities, but I don't know that it matches up that well into us. Its speed tier's not amazing into us, so I feel pretty good about our matchup into that. Don't really see it coming. And then Wordier is his last and his other Terra Captain. He's got Psychic, Steel, and Fairy. So once again, a low-tier Fairy that can come against us. Has Intimidate, can set up Calm Minds, Agilities, maybe on the physical side as well. So definitely a threat we got to watch out for. But I think the main concerns that I think I could lose to are the Roaring Moon and the Venusaur, especially under Sun. So we're going to try to mitigate that as well as we can. And for that, we have this team. So we'll start with Levani. I'm excited. We finally get to use this, and it pretty much wins every lead matchup outside of Taunt, Electrode, and Roaring Moon. If Roaring Moon leads with like booster speed, we're in trouble because I don't have a whole lot for that. So we're just going to hope he doesn't do that. We have the Sticky Web. As soon as we get webs up, we can't ever let him get rid of them. Webs are great. They mean if it's booster speed Moon in the back, then I think webs take precedent. So webs will trigger, and then he'll get the booster, so he'll always boost your attack, or it should always boost your attack. Can't boost your speed after it goes -1. Got Knock for utility. Max special attack Grass Knot just deletes Great Tusk, so that's nice for us. It does 100 to max health Great Tusk, so he would have to be AV to live 1. And if he's AV, then he's not nearly as big of a concern for Sinistcha. And then Pounce is just there to keep speed down on things trying to set up speed on us, just to slow them back down. So I thought that was useful. We've got Sinistcha. This is our spin blocker, of course. It's literally just max health, max defense. It don't really need much more for Torkoal. If it's specs, then we just need to hit it with 1 Shadow Ball, and then we can revenge it with pretty much anything. Specifically Moon, or sorry, not Moon, Wake revenges it really easily because water's boosted by the sun, so any Torkoal just gets deleted. Machagacha Shadow Ball, Calm Mind, super standard, about the best thing to run on it. It's not really meant to be a win condition, but it can be if we really need it to be. And then Strength Sab is just there to help us keep Moon in check, keep his other physical attackers in check, and help us pivot into other things. We've got Kilowattrel, Terra Ice, Terra Blast. This is definitely our Terra Captain this week. I've got the Charge Beam and Thunderbolt. So if we can pick off something low with Charge Beam and get that 70% special attack raise, we look good to just sweep the rest of his team, honestly. Ice, Thunderbolt coverage into most of his Mons, he just doesn't have a good switch in for. So I think it's pretty good. And then we can roost on things like Clef Key. We've got Roaring Moon, once again 4 attacks, almost ran AV, but this is a Lumberry set. Oh, and this is a Life Orb Kilowattrel. This is a Lumberry Wake, so that we can eat a Yawn from a Slowking, a Yawn from a Torkoal if we switch in hard on it, and a Thunder Wave from Clef Key and hit it with a Flamethrower. If it's in the sun, it might KO, probably not, but it at least does a huge chunk, and then we can pivot into Kilowattrel or something similar. Knockoff is just there to deal with the Slowking, and maybe remove Heat Rock from Torkoal or remove, an item if we need to get rid of an item. Otherwise, Hydro Steam, Flamethrower, Dragon Pulse just covers his whole team really well. We've got the Heavy Duty Boots, Cinderace. Just 4 attacks this week. I didn't see a reason to court change if we just wanted to get webs up and keep them up. It doesn't really make sense to give him the webs on our side. So Pyro Ball, Low Kick goes great into the Moon. We've got U-Turn for pivoting if he brings in a physical wall. And then Sucker Punch is a cool interaction with Clef Key because we can Sucker Punch, become a Dark type, and suddenly we're immune to Prankster moves. So then we can smack it with a Pyro Ball after that, and we're in good shape. So that's kind of the plan there. We saw Levani. And finally, we've got Setup Screamtail. Most of our Mons are kind of just bring them in and big hits. Screamtail is more of a setup set. So we're fast, but we are also defensive, but we are also max special attack. So we have a lot of stuff going on here. 2 Calm Minds and Stored Power is 100 base power, and it deletes everything on his team except the Roaring Moon. 1 Calm Mind and Dazzling Gleam should always KO Roaring Moon. And then if he tries to get cheeky and set up on us, we can Encore him set up a Calm Mind, and we're in good shape. I like the Leftovers and Wish over Encore here for a second, and then I decided that it's just way more consistent to do it this way, because if we run Weakness Policy, there's not a guarantee that we get that procced. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. I feel good about the battle, and we will see you there. All right, so we are waiting for our opponent at the moment. I assume he shows up fairly soon. There was like an update on the Switch today, so we're waiting on that, which is fine. I just wanted to go over why I didn't bring what I didn't bring. I figured I might as well justify that really quickly. Slitherwing, I thought was decent. First impressions, good to catch a lower health Roaring Moon or Venusaur, which are our biggest threats. But it's just so walled by Torkoal, walled by Zapdos, walled by Great Tusk. It struggles with Mismagius. So I just didn't really think it was worth fitting. What else did I not bring? I didn't bring Ninetales because, you know, I'm just giving him Sun, and it's a stalemate with Torkoal, and Torkoal probably wins the exchange. So I just didn't think it was worth it. If he brings Sun, I benefit. But if he doesn't, then it's fine. We're both kind of neutral. No Quillfish this week. He has a lot of Pokemon with ground coverage, and Quillfish really just doesn't do a lot. T-Spikes would have been okay here, but with Venusaur's grounded poison, he could just pivot that in, and if he pivots in it directly on Quillfish, we're in danger. Bisharp, once again, not showing up. Why would I bring Bisharp to Sun? Bro would just get blown up by any fire, fighting, or ground move. So unfortunately, dude's chilling on the bench. No Donphan. Donphan was almost our 6th over Screamtail, but I wanted something that could set up. Donphan's, you know, always nice insurance, but it just really loses to Tusk. It doesn't really do much to Zapdos, even with Ice Spinner. So it's just not great. He cannot be found. We'll try again in a minute. And then no Knackle this week. I like Knackle into this matchup, believe it or not. I think it's pretty solid, even though it can get knocked off. I just thought it loses to Venusaur kind of no matter what, which is unfortunate, because I think it would be really solid if he didn't have that. It's just Grass covers Rock and Water really well, and Sludge Bomb would cover our Fairy Terra, so it's hard to justify it. Otherwise, I think it would have been really solid. I think we could have brought it over Screamtail or over one of our other setup mons, but at the end of the day, I think it's fine to leave him on the bench for the week. He did enough last week. So yeah, we'll continue searching for the battle, and we'll get back once it starts. All right, and our opponent has been found. And pretty standard, no surprises. One surprise, no Torkoal, which is good news for us. No Titan, yep, so no Snow Shenanigans, no Mismagius, no Wordier, and no Electrode. So no low tier this week, which is amazing. So the only way we don't get webs up is if we go to set webs turn 1, he it leads Tusk, rapid spins with Tusk, and outspeeds us next turn to KO with Ice Spinner. Obviously we can Grass Knot, but if it doesn't KO, we're in trouble, and we need to get Leavanny back in ASAP. So that's the plan. Yeah, so let's get into it. Let's hope we can bring it up to 3-1. I will get a notepad up real quick. I'm not going to try to take too long on my moves, just because the weather's been kind of crazy out here and my internet hates the rain. So we're going to try not to stall any more than we have to. So Zapdos, Great Tusk, Klefki, Roaring Moon, Slow King, and Venusaur. And we know Vena can be either Grass, Fire, or Dragon. I suspect Fire into me, but who knows. So yeah, good luck, have fun to my opponent. If you like the battles, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. I'd love to hear other ideas if you want me to make other kind of videos in the future. I have some informational videos coming out, but, you know, I'd love the motivation to make them if people actually wanted to see them, you know, which is fine. Zapdos leads. It can't taunt me that I'm aware of, so I'm just going to go for Sticky Web. He can Heat Wave me down to 1 health if he wants, but this is exactly the starting situation we wanted. Does Heat Wave, does miss. I'm sorry about that, but we can capitalize and keep our Sash for later. So we do set the webs. I hate that start for you, buddy. I know that Hacks is never fun to deal with. I can just go directly into Kilowattrel and go ahead and get Terra'd up. That only really looks bad into the Venusaur. But wait, he brought Venusaur without Sun. That's kind of weird. Let me see just quickly if I bring in Kilowattrel here. My custom set into Zapdos. I mean, Heat Wave is still hurting quite a bit. Yeah, Heat Wave's doing about half, actually, so it's not very smart for me to hard switch that in. So I think I'd just go for a knock. Or even a pounce. Slow him down and then knock him off next turn. I don't know, saving the Sash could be nice. Yeah. I mean, if he's just going to go for that again, I could go into Wake. I'm going to go into Wattrel. We eat a Heat Wave, and we can Roost, and maybe he Volt Switches or does something else. So we got our Electric Bird in against each other. He Hurricanes? That'll hurt. So it does do slightly less than half. So I can Roost here, but I'm starting to play with, you know, crits, potentially. I do threaten him with a Terra Blast Ice, which, if he's max health, never KOs. Just barely, unfortunately. So I will Roost once. Maybe he misses here if he goes for Hurricane again. Maybe he doesn't know about Volt Absorb and we catch that. Or maybe he hard switches. Okay, no. So he just stays in. Could go for Heat Wave for sure. Does go for the Heat Wave. So yeah, that does about half. So do I want to Roost until he misses? I feel like that's not a good play. But the Life Orb kind of puts us in that position. I'm going to Roost one more. I'm going to try to condition him into spamming Heat Wave, and then I might go Wake. So he does Heat Wave, does land it again. It does about the same damage as last time. Let's see. Walking Wake. Into Zapdos. I mean, we're not ever KOing Zapdos with Wake, actually. But we're really not making any progress here either. That's tough. I could T-Bolt, but there's a chance the next Heat Wave knocks me out because of Life Orb. We could also just set up with Screamtail here, and I think I might. So we took half damage on Kilowattrel just to save the Sash on Levani. May not have been a good move if Tusk ever comes in, because it can just get up rocks, but we'll see. So Heat Wave comes out. It does a decent amount, but I think we can set up one Calm Mind here. So let me see. Screamtail versus this. I mean, Hurricane's doing like 40%, but we can Calm Mind once. And we just kind of have to hope for a little luck, but, you know, it can happen. He does Hard Switch. What does he go into? Not for Batman. What is that? That's an interesting name. All right, so Klefki comes in. It's slowed down by the webs, but does hard wall us. But we can Encore. If he does decide to spike, that breaks Levani's Sash, so maybe I'll just go hard into Levani here. Just so we can get something out of that Sash that we took so much damage on Kilowattrel for. I could also Encore him and just set up Ad Nauseam here if I wanted. Is he really doing any damage to Screamtail? I mean, no, he's doing 25%. It's just that we don't really want him to get free spikes and we don't want to lose our speed. So I think I will go back into Levani. It's not great. We have a few options. Kind of depends on what he wants to do. It might just be a Thunder Wave. It might just be a Spike. I think I'll just go into Levani, knock him off. Get some utility out of this guy. See what he does. Thunder Wave? Oh, he's also Calm Mind. That's not good. Okay, so that does not threaten Cinderace at all. So that's fine. I should have stayed in with Screamtail. I could have Encored him. We would have been in a perpetual, like, 1v1. I will go hard into Cinderace here because I don't want to mess around with Klefki. I don't know that I can even go for the Sucker Punch play, though, because Pyro Ball may not KO him. The one positive is he's very slow. Dang. So he got me pretty good there. I really thought he would go for a spike to break Levani's sash, but no, he's just straight Calm Mind. Draining Kiss. Okay, so that shouldn't do anything. Yeah, we're fire type. Draining Kiss, Calm Mind, Flash Cannon, probably. I don't know that he has room for Thunder Wave. I will just Pyro Ball. If we get paralyzed, then it's just something we're going to have to deal with. It does hard switch. Okay. So we know Zapdos is Heat Wave and Hurricane. And we know that Klefki is Calm Mind and Draining Kiss. Pyro Ball does like 30% to Tusk, which is not bad. We don't burn it, which is a little unfortunate. It is leftovers, so that's good to know. I mean, it's bulky. It might be like max health. We have an always switch in the Sinistra here. So Tusk is lefties. So that Klefki is going to be a little more annoying now that we know it's Calm Mind. We do want to keep Cinderace relatively healthy. It can't really have any good coverage for Cinderace, but we do want to be careful. So we're going to prevent the spin. Yep, no spins. No. Web stay up the whole game. The problem is his switch in here is pretty much always Roaring Moon. So I could double. He could also go for the Ice Spinner, though. I think regardless, we do go for one Strength Sap because that does... Wait, does that fail at max health? I don't know if it fails at max health, so I actually think Matcha Gotcha is the play to try to get a burn on the Moon. So, and also if he goes for Ice Spinner, it shouldn't ever 2-hit KOS, and we also get health back. So he does switch, probably Moon, if not Venusaur. But, so that's Venusaur, I believe. Yeah, it does go Venu. So Strength Sap, I'm glad we didn't go for. So we only know Tusk is Rapid Spin. This will do about negative damage. We might get a burn, but I've spoken it out of existence. Also, leftovers slash great... yeah, leftovers. I was going to say Black Sludge, but that doesn't make sense. So Venu is leftovers. If he's Dragon and we bring in Wake on a Dragon move, that's not good. So I feel like Levani might be a pretty free play here to knock off those leftovers. He might go for like a Leech Seed. We're letting everything get weakened a bit, which is not preferred. I really don't care about Levani here, though, so if he decides to Terra Fire, like go for a Fire-type move, that's fine. Is Sub. Okay. Well, I am suddenly really sad I switched to a special set. So Venusaur. It's max health. Yeah, Levani's not breaking that Sub. That's not good. Yikes. That's a cool bring. I did not anticipate Sub, but I guess I should since I have a Scream Tail. I mean, if he's no health, knockoff breaks the Sub, but he's probably healthy. Should have ran physical attack. Unfortunate. Also could have just Grass Knotted Tusk, I guess, but it seems really bulky, so maybe not. Yeah, Knock probably doesn't break Sub. What does he even do here, though? We can set up on Scream Tail with it. He's probably Terra's. Oh, we'll go for one Knock just to see if we can't break the Sub. He's faster? Oh, he Terra's. I was like, Scarf Sub? That's not good. Okay, Fire? Fire, nice. Okay, we did call that. Is it Sub Growth? That would be kind of crazy, right? So we do Knock once. Probably Terra Blast. Sub probably does not break. Yeah, Sub does not break. Which is fine. Sub should always break in 2. We're trading Levani for a 1 substitute on Venusaur, which is not good for us. But it's fine. Because now, I believe, Wake scares the crap out of this thing. Yeah, so if he's a Fire type, Hydro Steam is not quite KOing, but it's very close if he's not very bulky. If he's max health, we'll probably get really close, but not quite knock him out. But since he's not Dragon, it's okay. So this should break sub. Yeah, nice. Does he sub again? He does sub again. Okay, well, at least we're keeping him down. What would his last move be then? It could be Sludge Bomb, could be Earth Power, could be Grass move, right? So I think I can make a bit of a play, go hard Wake. Save this 1 health Levani as a sack for later in the game because we're not breaking sub with knock ever. So we've had our whole team on the field already. We're really not making much forward progress in breaking his team down, so it's not great. It does Terra Blast. This should do negligible damage. Yeah, 22. So he's not offensive at all. He's actually very bulky. 22. Interesting. So that should have done more from my calc. So that's a little surprising. We will just go for Hydro Steam because he's subbed, so he has no reason to switch out. Could go for Knock, could go for Sludge Bomb, try to get a poison on us. We do have the 1-use Lumberry. Leech Seed, okay. That's not annoying at all. So we could go Screamtail here, trying to catch his substitute. I don't know if it's worth it. Wake is getting chipped pretty significantly, but I think we can deal with it. Honestly, Screamtail's not that far from sweeping. If we look quickly while we're waiting on the Hydro Steam at Screamtail versus the... Oh, he does switch. Screamtail versus... Derp comes in. Clef Key. If it's Calm Mind, he gets to +6. We get to +6. Yeah, we do literally 0. Stored Power is doing 33%. If he ever gets a chance to Flash Cannon, he's doing 33%. So we do inevitably win that battle, I believe. So yeah, he heals all the way back up thanks to his leftovers. What I can do here is go into Screamtail, get some healing of my own. The only thing we really risk is a Thunder Wave or a little bit of damage. He might go for Future Sight. I think we did see leftovers on this as well, so he's just maxed out on healing. Chilly Reception, okay. So Clef Key might come back in here, and if it does, I'm definitely going to Encore it. So he does set up the snow, which is funny. So that's kind of his counter to if I had brought Sun. So I think he's lefties. I'm going to put a question mark. And we know that he is Chilly Recept. Yep, back into Clef Key. So we know the Venusaur is Terra Blast, Sub, and Leech. So one coverage move. We're not sure what it is. I think we go all the way to +6/+6 with this Clef Key, honestly. That or we Encore and we immediately switch into Cinderace, or we Encore and Calm Mind. But I'm definitely going for Encore. So slow game to start with, unfortunately. My offensive threats are really not doing as much as I want them to. If we can start getting knocks going with Wake, I think we're in good shape. So he hard doubles. It's not great for me. Into the Tusk. We go for an Encore that doesn't do anything, so that's great. He might predict me to go into Sinistra here, but I'm not willing to let him spin, even if he does predict it and goes for a knockoff or an Ice Spinner. So we are both lefties. The leftovers is really adding to the length of the game, so it looks like it's going to be another long one, unfortunately. Will prevent the spin. He could set rocks here. That would nullify Levani for the rest of the game since we didn't bring removal, but that's fine. That's still a free sack at some point. Levani is kind of nice into the bro, but since we're running max special attack instead of attack so that we could deal with the lead Tusk, that really is biting us in the butt now. Which, honestly, if he was like max Fizdev Venusaur, then it didn't matter, and that knock wouldn't have broken sub anyway. So don't feel too bad about that. So we do switch. Playing obvious, but yeah, okay, so he does spin. Yeah, you're not doing that, buddy. I will go for a Shadow Ball this time because it will do more damage to most things coming in except for Roaring Moon. The way he's keeping in the back makes me think it is booster. But I don't want to predict it. I want to get some damage on the Venu if he does decide to bring it in. So Bud comes in, the Venusaur. We will get a big Shadow Ball off. He is slowed down. I wonder if he's slower than us where he's so bulky. We will see Shadow Ball come off. That does nothing. That's crazy. So Venusaur. Sun Sweeper is not the set you are. I mean, Terra Blast is doing... Really? 49%? I guess if no special attack. Dang, that's still doing a lot for us to be heat proof. Surprising. I think I go into Scream Tail on the sub. And I try to encore him into that. If he Sludge Bombs, that's a great play. But I don't think he will. We just got to start getting some kind of momentum. Yeah, so he does sub. We can encore, force him to keep subbing. No more snow. It's lefties. A little frustrating, but I think we win this exchange eventually. So we'll encore once. He could definitely hard switch out here. That's fine. I don't want to play with him going for an attack and then us not really being able to set up, or especially if he Sludge Bombs. Like, it's probably not doing that much, but it could do in the realm of, you know, if we Calm Minded, it could still do like 30%, which is not damage we really want to take. So yeah, we got another slow one. Probably will speed up some of the decision making just to make the video less than an hour and 11 minutes like we did last time. So he is forced to sub. Encore is definitely the play over Wish, which is nice. Now we can start looking at Scream Tail versus Venu. If we get to +1/+1, we are starting to break subs with stored power. So I am just going to go for a Calm Mind. This might be where we just start breaking. With Scream Tail is very ironic, I realize. Klefki comes in. I don't really care what it wants to do, because I can set up against it and eventually beat it. So we Calm Mind once. And once again, I'll bring up the calc just to make sure. Worst case scenario, he's max attack, max FDF. +6/+6. We also get to +6/+6. Yeah, we're doing big damage. And he would be doing... He might beat us at the end of the day. I'm going to Calm Mind once more. He does the same. That's fine. So it all depends on his investment. But I will take this 1v1 because Cinderace can always revenge. So I'm not super concerned about it. I am going to run out of encores fairly quickly, though. So we're at +2/+2. He's at +1/+1. I will encore this turn. So he Calm Minds again. So now we're going to be evenly matched. We are guaranteed faster, so his attacks won't go first, luckily. So we will always be able to force him into Calm Mind. So we'll encore. And now it's just going to be a little bit of back and forth with Calm Mind. But he's kind of stuck now, because we're both at +2/+2. If he switches out, we're doing crazy damage to whatever wants to come in outside of Slowking. So he might decide to switch here, which might be the play. But I don't know. If he brings in Slowking, we can deal with it. He does switch, so we're at +3/+3 against whatever comes in. It is Tusk. I got bad news for you. Oh, wow. At +3/+3, if he is max health, max FDF, we're doing 193 to 228% with stored power. And over 100 with Gleam. And he's not Sash. So I will just dump a stored power directly onto this Tusk. Okay, so he hard switches. I wonder why. Goes back into the Clef Key. This is going to eat a stored power, and it's no longer set up. I wonder if he's got... I don't know. Stored power... Oh, that's amazing. And it's leftovers, so we don't have to worry about any switcheroo shenanigans. Wow, that was some crazy damage. So yeah, he is not Spadef, he's Fizdef, Clef Key. Yeah. So another stored power knocks him out, but do we knock out everything else on his team? So Venusaur is a fire type, may not knock out. Roaring Moon we definitely knock out. Tusk we definitely knock out. Slowking we definitely don't knock out. So I do kind of want to keep boosting. Sunny Day. So he's giving me a speed boost too. I don't know if he realizes that. So we get a Spadef boost. Yo, that's not good. He won't get a speed boost though, because we have webs up, right? I just didn't realize we got Spadef because we're Calm Minded up. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, because our Spadef still outpaces our special attack, even though we're max invested in special attack, which is kind of wild. So he sets Sun, but Moon doesn't get a speed boost here. Right? I'm not crazy. So we're at +4/+4 versus a Slowking. We're doing 50 to 60. If we get all the way to +6/+6, we might knock it out. Yeah, we will knock it out. Probably. I'm just going to go all the way. He could hard switch to Moon if he wants here. Because the only way we're knocking out Slowking and 1 is with +6/+6. So he's Sunny Day, Calm Mind, Raining Kiss, Flash Cannon? Hard switches again. Moon comes in. Should get an attack boost, because Sticky Web should activate before Photosynthesis. Sticky Web activates. Speed falls and attack boost. Yes. Yes. Okay, nice. He might be attack booster anyway, but I wanted to be safe. Alright, so we are now at +5/+5. We can confirm that. Yep, +5/+5. So Gleam is casually doing 328 to 384%. So we will Gleam. There's no chance he's faster than me, even if he's scarfed max speed. He could be faster and Iron Head me, but that's the only way, and I don't think that's the set. Okay, we get a Gleam off. Goodbye, Moon. Scream, Tail, 1, and Roaring. Moon goes 0-1. Unless he's hiding any spicy techs in the back, we should just win off this set, which is kind of amazing. I'm so glad I sent this set by Jay Scurf, so shout out Jay Scurf once again. I sent this set by him, and I was psychic because I didn't even know Screamtail got stored power. That I just didn't even think about it. So, yeah, I'm so glad because the base power is so huge right now, right? It's Klefki comes back in. Yeah, so 220 base powers right now over what Psychic would have been 80. Last move on this, maybe just Flash Cannon. I'm just going to Stored Power. Even if Slowking lives a hit, it's not doing anything. He Calm Minds. That's fair enough. And we know he's Fizdef, so this should still wipe it. Yeah, goodbye. Nice, so I think we got a 6-0 Screamtail sweep, which is kind of hype. I love this thing because with a lot of these Calm Mind Stored Power sets, you have a lot of trouble with Dark types. So Screamtail just ignores that. It does not care about that. because we can have Dazzling Gleam, and especially when they're 4x weak to it like Roaring Moon was, you know, we could have been +2 and it would have always knocked it out, and +4 guarantees that if it's Roselli Berry, we still knock it out. So yeah, huge win. So happy Screamtail was able to absolutely put in so much work. Protosynthesis wears off, it doesn't matter. It was a Spit F boost that we weren't using. Slow King lives a hit, so like he could do something here. If he's like Thunder Wave, then maybe kicking himself in the butt a little for not bringing it in earlier. Unless it's like just max health, then maybe this has a chance to KO. Let's see. No, it does live, so it gets one hit. It's Yawn. You could have done that a little while ago. So that's why I did want to KO it in one, is moves like Yawn. I don't think I switch out here, right? What does he have left? Tusk and Zapdos? So Zapdos is never breaking us. And Tusk could spin, but it always loses to Sinistcha in the end. So not concerned about taking a nap here. So yeah, that was probably the play as soon as I started really setting up. But, you know, live and learn, right? I may not have thought Slowking lived one. It definitely always lives one Gleam, maybe two. So Tusk comes in. If he wants to spin, he can spin because it doesn't matter. It only affects Tusk at this point. I'm going to stay in. We could save this, I suppose, for Zapdos. So Ice Spinner does not too much, which is nice. Leftovers is going to make that like a 5 or 6 hit KO, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to keep clicking Stored Power. We wake up turn 1, so our luck is unlike that of a battle we had a little while back. Well, actually, it'll be ahead of this battle. So where we got frozen by a Tri-Attack and then stayed frozen for 4 full turns. Yeah, we took that luck and put it here with the 1 turn wake because it mattered a lot more here, clearly. But yeah, I don't think even with that Yawn, it would have had to been like Iron Head Roaring Moon. And it would have had to like Dragon Dance Iron Headed twice off of the Yawn. So that would have been the way to beat Screamtail. If it wasn't Iron Head, then it probably wouldn't have broken us in 2. So it all depends on the sets, you know. But yeah, with that, we win. Screamtail is able to get an insane 6-0 sweep with Stored Power, which you love to see. Screamtail, great Pokemon. I was pretty hesitant on it, honestly. I know it gets the Sun Boost, but, you know, it's so weak, right? Base 65, special attack. I've only brought it as a support Pokemon every week, but I'm glad we did get to see it shine this week. So, pretty huge battle. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. We probably won't be as free to bring this set in the future. I feel like opponents might prep for it when they see the 6-0 in the battle screen, but regardless, it did its work when it needed to do the work, you know. So it's great. We go up 3-1. I believe we're +13 now, so we're looking pretty good. And yeah, we will see you next week. Thanks for watching.